You're definitely not gonna expect what I'm about to tell you about this cave. Yes, this was something on my bucket list, to sleep in a cave. Welcome back to another episode of Tick Off Tuesday. My name is Joel Eckermann and this is the show where I take you into my memory archive and tell you about how I ticked off over half of my bucket list. And by telling you how I did it exactly, I hopefully can inspire you to do the same and achieve all of your dreams. This one right here was actually one of the first items that I have ticked off of this list with 100 things that I want to do before I die. And it's funny because back then I just received this poster of my bucket list and a friend of mine was at my place and she looked through the list being very interested, as most people are actually. And for many things she's like, oh yeah, maybe you can do it like that or you can do it like this. And then point number 89, sleeping in a cave, she was like, hey, I know a cave where you could sleep, or actually I can show you this cave and we can sleep there together. And I think this was the first time I realized how powerful it is to share your bucket list with other people, because then all of a sudden people know about what you actually want to do and they can offer you help. Like if I wouldn't have had this bucket list in my apartment, I would have never known that she knows a cave and she has slept in this cave before. And only because of this, she told me. And then literally like a few weeks later, we were in the mountains hiking up to that cave. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly where this cave is because it's kind of like a secret location. She also told me that I should keep it kind of like as a secret because otherwise if too many people know about this cave, it would get way too crowded. So yeah, we started this hike, which was quite exhausting. It was very steep. And then after like 2 or 3 hours, we got to this cliff. And you could already see a few holes in this cliff, assuming that, okay, these are caves, I guess. But I had no idea like where exactly this cave is. So we found the entrance to the main cave, but then as soon as we got in, there were like other routes that you could take. So it was kind of confusing, and my friend, she tried to remember which route it is exactly, because otherwise you might get lost. So we were just slowly climbing up, climbing down, squeezing through some of the narrow caves. And then at some point she's like, I guess that's the one. And the hole that she pointed at, I actually would have missed it because it was like in the corner somewhere very small. So she was like, hey, come back, we have to go through this tiny hole. And I looked at it, it's like, are you sure? Like, do we even fit through there? It was kind of an awkward climb through. And she went first and she went in and she just freaked out.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And I was standing on the outside and I was like, what is in there? Like, I don't know what to expect. I literally have no idea.
I want to see it.
I was just like you are right now watching this video. Like, okay, what can I expect? What does this cave look like? And then I passed her the camera through the hole first before actually climbing in. And I think I had to climb backwards in because it was very awkward. Like, so my feet went in first and she filmed me how I get in so she can capture my reaction. And then at some point I was like, okay, squeezing through, turning around. I was like, wow, okay, that's definitely the last thing I was expecting.
Someone lived here.
Like when you picture a cave, you feel like, okay, there are many rocks, it's just like this hole and that's it, there's nothing else there. But this cave there was very special. Like people have been sleeping there so many times already and probably for many years, if not decades. So people have been improving that cave and just make it more cozy. So they must have flattened the ground with gravel. Then they brought blankets, they brought a cooker, they even brought food. It's just crazy what people brought up there. And I later learned that apparently if you go there, you actually have to bring something yourself. Whether that's something like firewood, a blanket, or something that you can leave there for the next visitors. So I was totally impressed how this cave looks like because I never ever would have expected the cave to look like this. So yeah, we were just there by ourselves. We left our stuff there. I think we prepared our beds and then we were like, hey, let's climb a little bit higher up on that mountain to watch the sunset. Then we went back, it was already dark, and we climbed through the cave again with some lamps. And then we heard something. We're like, are there other people now? So it's like, okay, maybe they are in our cave. And then we climbed back into this cave, and there were 2 other fellow cavemen, and they were like kind of surprised at first, but then they were like, yeah, it's very rare that you sleep in this cave all by yourself. So it actually happens often that other people are visiting this cave at the same time as well. However, it was actually quite nice. It was very cool to have company with those other people, especially because one of them brought his didgeridoo as well, and we made this bonfire in the cave, which is actually possible in this cave because there are those 2 big windows, because otherwise if the cave would be closed, I definitely wouldn't recommend to make a fire inside there. So it was just this perfect cave experience. We had a bonfire, we had didgeridoo, we had food, we had these nice conversations, and we were just in this cave with those 2 windows where you could look at the city down below. It's so interesting because when I wrote sleeping in a cave on my list, I literally thought about, okay, maybe I can find a cave that is dark and yeah, just nothing special. But because my friend told me about this cave, I'm like, that's the best case scenario. That was like the best way to tick that off my bucket list. So that's why share your bucket list with people, because you never know who can help you. But one is for sure, people will help you as soon as they see something that they can help you with. With that said, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Next week, we're actually already gonna have our 10th episode, so it's gonna be a little anniversary. We're gonna celebrate that a little bit, but of course, I have ticked off over 50 of this list, so there will be 40 more episodes at least. I mean, by the time we get there, most likely I have ticked off even more and I can tell you even more stories. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.